These are among the last images and sounds captured by Danishsiddiqui, a Pulitzer Prize-winning Reuters photographer who was killed in Afghanistan on Friday while reporting on fighting between the Taliban and Afghan government forces. Siddiqui had been embedded with Afghan special forces in Kandahar province when he and a senior Afghan officer were killed in what an Afghan commander said was Taliban crossfire. The Taliban say it isn't clear how Siddiqui died. A spokesperson told Reuters it wasn't aware there was a journalist in what it described as a fierce battle. Danishsiddiqui was a mostly self-taught photographer originally from New Delhi in India. A married father of two, over a decade with Reuters he'd covered wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the mass protests in Hong Kong, earthquakes in Nepal, and was on the team that won a Pulitzer for its coverage of the Rohingya refugee crisis in Myanmar. He once said, "It was his goal to shoot for the common man who wants to see and feel a story because the reader can't experience it for themselves." Earlier this year, he went back to India to cover the devastation of its runaway COVID crisis.
There are various challenges to cover this kind of story, and there are technical challenges and then there are emotional challenges. Technical challenges is to how to showcase this story in a dignified way, and in a way that like you don't go too close to it, and so that the dignity of the victim or his family is maintained. But you also need to show the story, which is to show the scale of the devastation by this pandemic, which was happening in the heart of the country.
Some of his colleagues in India have started memorials for him. Siddiqui was reporting from a town called Spin Boldak when he was killed on the Pakistan border. The Taliban had captured the area on Wednesday in the wake of the drawdown by US and NATO forces. Siddiqui told Reuters earlier that day that he'd been wounded by shrapnel but had been treated and was recovering. An Afghan commander said the journalist was talking to local shopkeepers when the Taliban attacked again and was fatally wounded.